Hey guys, Hitman89 here. A couple of months ago, I reviewed Cyberpunk 2077 on PS5, and when I pointed out quite a few issues, a lot of people, and I mean a lot, told me I should have reviewed the game on PC instead, because that's the version they played since day one and they had zero bugs and it was basically a completely different experience. Now that I finally got a new PC that can run it at max settings, I got the Ultimate Edition, so I played the base game and Phantom Liberty for the first time on PC, and with this review, I'ma be answering the following question one last time. Is Cyberpunk 2077 good now? Let's find out! It's official, Cyberpunk won't be getting any more major updates, and the last one added the metro system, you know, like the one they showed us in that trailer 6 years ago, and it looks exactly the same. Well, kinda. Speaking of trailers, I went to the same spot we saw in that 2018 gameplay reveal video, and as you can see, even on PC, there are way fewer people in the actual game. It's still considerably more than on console though. That being said, I don't know if you remember this.
The most believable city in any open world game to date. The city's streets are bustling with crowds of people from all facets of life, all living their lives within a full day and night cycle.
I think we all know by now that's a lie. These NPCs are dumb as fuck, and they literally have no life. They walk aimlessly and keep on bumping into each other. Next time you play Cyberpunk, try following a random NPC and you'll see. They just go from point A to point B, and when they reach it, they go back to point A and they do it over and over again. And I know what you're thinking.
You have nothing better to do?
Not really. My life sucks. Not as much as Night City's people though. I mean, look at them. The only thing that's even lower than their IQ is their self-esteem. Hold on, didn't I just see this chick? Yeah, I don't know why clones are never too far from each other in this game, even when they give them different outfits. Now, visually speaking, on PC, Cyberpunk is one of the best looking games out there, and it looks considerably better than the PS5 and Series X version, thanks to higher resolution textures, increased draw distance, better shadows, and most importantly, actual ray tracing, cause on console you only get ray traced shadows at 30 frames per second, so obviously performance mode is the way to go. On PC though, there are reflections on cars, puddles, buildings. Wherever you look, there is a ray traced reflection, and it's beautiful. By the way, do you know why the protagonist is called V? And no, it's not because his name is Vincent. What the game doesn't tell you is that V actually stands for vampire, because even with all the ray tracing effects enabled, V has no reflection. In all seriousness now, the addition of vehicle combat and weaponized vehicles made the open world part incredibly more fun. Too bad it took them 3 years to do it. It also took them 3 years to add a functional police system where cops actually patrol the streets, respond to dispatch calls, get in their cars and actually chase you instead of just spawning behind you like they used to. I mean, sometimes they don't even bother walking back to their cars, they just teleport. And that's probably because the AI sucks dick. Look how hard these dumbasses struggle to get around the car. GTA 5, which is now over 10 years old, has a much better police system and AI, and that's a PS3 game. Anyway, if you stick to doing missions and, you know, basically all the scripted stuff, you'll come across way less bugs than during the open world / free roam part of the game. That doesn't mean you won't see stuff like Jackie posing like he's about to pop some 70s disco moves right before going through the closet.
Let's get out of here. Elevator gets us to the garage direct.
Good work. Shit show's over.
Nah, it's just begun actually, cause it only took me 10 minutes to see the first bug on PC. I haven't come across any game breaking ones, but I've seen a bunch of motherfuckers levitating in the air like they just don't care. I mean look, even this kid can do it.
You got a big dumb face.
You're lucky I can't shoot you little shit. Anyway, the physics are a mixed bag. Sometimes it looks pretty damn good, like here, but then you'll see cars gone flying out of nowhere, or when you point your gun at a driver and they don't react, so you actually decide to shoot them, and then this happens. Nice ass by the way. Let's get back to the scripted stuff though. When it's good, it's real good. The gunplay feels great and the game is gory. I really enjoy beheading enemies and chopping their arms and legs off and blowing them up, and it's not just cause I'm Arab. Most gamers enjoy that, right? Seriously, whether you're a melee guy who plays like a cyber ninja, or you just shoot everything up with a big ass machine gun, you'll be seeing all kinds of body parts on the floor, and it's beautiful. All jokes aside though, there are plenty of possible builds and all of them can be very enjoyable. The overhauled skill tree lets you better achieve the build you want, they merge some skills together, and if you feel like trying something else or fine-tuning your build, you can reset the skills you don't like individually. The cyberware system was also revamped, making most clothes only cosmetics, so you don't have to look like a clown anymore to have the best armor. Speaking of clowns, if you ever get bored during a stealth mission, you can play peekaboo with the enemy. That's how groundbreaking the AI is. Keep in mind, Phantom Liberty missions are more action-packed and have better pacing, which is what the base game lacked. Cause Cyberpunk starts off strong, but after like 4 or 5 hours, it slowly gets less interesting, and that's when I realized this action RPG has way too much talking and not enough action. And don't get me wrong, in a game like Baldur's Gate 3, which is full of dialogue, I actually exhaust all the options and I really enjoy listening to characters talk. Why? Because it's genuinely interesting and almost every option you pick has a different outcome. Here, the game just sits you down and talks to you, but it's more like a speech. Everyone's trying to sound like a badass all the time, and somehow they always manage to make a 30-second conversation last 10 minutes. Plus, most dialogue options you get to choose from are meaningless. At least the voice acting is pretty good and the soundtrack is great. I obviously played with the keyboard and mouse this time, but I've also tried the DualSense controller, and I'm happy to say all of its features are supported. Driving feels good, but you just gotta get used to the weak-ass brake. Last but not least, when it comes to performance, on PS5 there are a couple of noticeable frame rate dips in certain areas, but other than that, it's pretty smooth. On PC, I have a 4080, so I maxed the game out at native 1080p with frame generation on to keep the frame rate well above 60 at all times. I'm obviously not gonna mention the old gen versions, cause CDPR basically abandoned them right before update 2.0. And honestly, if I had a PS4 or an Xbox One, I wouldn't buy this game anyway, just cause of the deception and scummy tactics used pre-launch to make people pre-order an unplayable game. Now that we got that out of the way, let's move on to the verdict. One thing's for sure, Cyberpunk 2077 had a horrible launch, but more than 3 years later, it became perfectly playable, it's got fewer bugs now, and it's enjoyable. So for around $25, it's definitely worth it. It'll never be the masterpiece we saw in the original trailers, but it's a good game, and that's why I'ma give it a 7.5 out of 10. Cause as you saw with this review, the PC version has the same technical issues as the PS5 and Series X, except it looks better. Now if we're talking about the Ultimate Edition, which includes Phantom Liberty, then I would give it an 8 out of 10. So if you can get it for $50 or less, go for it. And that's gonna be it for my final Cyberpunk 2077 review. I hope you found it helpful or funny. If you did, a thumbs up would help me out a lot, and if you like honest reviews with no sugarcoating, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to help this shitty channel grow. It's been Hitman89. See you guys very soon.
Are you gonna win or will you play scared? I will not stop, I am prepared to get to the top, yeah you must be rare. God I'm like, hey